for on the burnt-out house?
Well,
That's a question. I expect an answer.
But did she take the money and run?
You did not rebuild the house. Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
no.
I have all the answers.
This is Judge Judy. Soraya Cassis is suing her former contractor, Tony Duarte, for failing to perform services on her home after it had burned down.
Now it's case number 45 on the calendar in the matter of Cassis versus Duarte. Parties have been sworn in.
Ms. Cassis, according to your complaint, you had a house that burned down, and you hired the defendant to do some demolition work to finish demolishing the house and to take away the debris. You claim that you made payments to him, and he didn't fulfill his obligation. That's what the case is about. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're suing him for $5,000 for an unfinished project.
Well, I basically made a claim against his bond company, and my award for the bond company...
No, just...
Oh, we're not talking...
You're suing him today for $5,000. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, so I have a few preliminary questions for you.
Okay.
What was the address?
Fran Street,
When did you buy Fran Street?
2007.
How much did you pay for the house in 2007?
I only paid 95,000, 97.
No. I want you to think very carefully. How much did you pay for the house? Just a second. In 2005, would it have been closer to 2005 when you purchased Fran Street?
Possibly, and it was...
Fran Street.
Yes. I'm sorry if I said the wrong number.
That's correct. And that house was purchased for approximately $88,000. Is that right?
No, I had two mortgages. The $88,000 was one mortgage, and I had a second mortgage.
And what was the other mortgage?
Yeah, I don't...
And to whom?
It started out with Chase Bank, but they sold it in the secondary mortgage market like 3 times.
Who owned the mortgage on the house?
I did. May I say something?
No, I want you to...
Okay.
I asked you a simple question.
Okay.
And I want you to understand, Miss Cassis, that I have all the answers.
Okay.
You bought the house that we're talking about on Fran Street that burned down. How much did you pay for it when you purchased it? That's a simple question.
Your Honor, it was exactly all I remember is that it was creative financing. Whatever was on paper, they gave me cash back so I could fix up the house. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but like I thought it was 97.
I don't want exactly. Give me within $5,000. How much was it? You lived there.
I don't remember if it was 95 or 97,000. I don't remember.
Okay, 95. Shh, just a second. 95.
If you see the 88,000, that's the first mortgage. There was creative financing. They gave me back money. So when you, that's why I...
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay.
Now, you insured the house for $230,000. When? In what year?
Okay.
Take a breath before you answer my question.
Okay.
You insured the house for $230,000 when?
I insured the
what
house
year?
Every year. Every year I would insure it for the maximum amount to rebuild because I knew that I had to do that because building was expensive. So every single year I had maximum insurance on it.
Insurance. Okay, here we go. So the maximum insurance was $230,000. Your house burned down in what month and year?
November of 2017.
And if that was going to give you a payout of $230,000 to replace the house. That's according to your statement that you signed.
Your Honor, it was $230,000 because I have 3 estimates from 3 contractors that it would cost $230,000 at the end of the year. One of them is from Duarte, and I have 2 other ones from...
Just a second. I'm not finished questioning you yet. Don't get beyond my questions.
Sorry.
So the house that you paid under $100,000 for, you were now getting from the insurance company $230,000. Now, you had an electrical fire.
Yes, ma'am, but they were...
That's what you say here.
They were not getting...
That's what you say here.
Yes, there was electrical fire. The fireman said that on the report, yes.
Just a second. That's not what I asked you. I said, you said you had an electrical fire.
According to the...
Where are you currently... I'm speaking. Where are you currently living?
I bought a house in California City.
You bought a house in California City, and the address of, just a second, and the address of that house is 21. Is that right?
Yes.
Who owns that house?
I own it, but I just recently put it in a trust, for my daughters, but I don't know if it's been recorded yet.
How much did you pay?
It's not a house, it's a town. They're attached together, so I paid
You paid
$115.
$115. That is correct. Now, who is Mark Anthony?
A person I gave a deli owner that I gave money to help him open up his deli. That I thought that was going to be my business. We had an agreement. After I bought the house, I invested in this deli, but he breached contract also.
So you are at the same time suing Mr. in another place.
I am, yes.
Yes.
I've already sued him, actually.
Okay. Now, how much did the insurance company settle with you for on the burnt-out house?
Well,
That's a question. I expect an answer. A figure, a number.
Your Honor.
A number.
A
number.
It's replacement costs and actual value costs. So when they
No,
settle.
I asked you a question.
Okay.
I expect a numerical answer. How much did the insurance company pay you for the house?
I received
That had an electrical fire.
I received $90,000 for property that was burnt. $90,000, and not done.
Come on.
I also received $120,000. I think it was $120,000 for a dwelling. I think. And then I had to pay off my mortgage, which left me with $70,000 to buy a new house.
Just a second. Just a second. I asked you for an entire figure. How much did you receive from the insurance company for the house?
For the house,
down?
$120,000 because I did not build.
And for the contents? Is that the
90,000. 90,000.
How much did Mr. Duarte's bond company pay you?
The award was the award, or what they ended up paying me.
The award.
They awarded me $13,000, and I don't recall the rest of $13,000.
Did you sue the bond company?
I made a claim with the bond company.
My question, Ms. Castillo, you made a claim with the bond company.
Yes, I did.
For how much? His bond company. For how much?
I made the claim. I requested the full $15,000, but
you requested $15,000 from his bond company. Okay. And how much did his bond company give you?
They ended up giving me only $4,800.
Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
No.
Do you get where I'm going?
No, Your Honor. I have proof of a.
So what?
May I show you some situations whenever you're ready? I have all the proof in the world to show you the way this incident turned out.
Listen, according to your complaint, Ms. Cassis, you paid Mr. Duarte, according to your signed complaint, $4,500 in advance. You said he did not complete the work. He did not demolish, nor did he haul away the stuff that he was supposed to haul away so that you could rebuild the house. That's what this is about. Well, his bond company, probably with his consent, paid you $4,800. You did not rebuild, I'm speaking, you did not rebuild the house. You took the $230,000 that you got from the insurance company for this electrical fire.
No, I didn't, ma'am.
You purchased another property.
No.
I'm just
I did not receive $230,000.
What you just told me.
No, I never received $230,000 from the insurance company.
Well, you just told me you received $120 and $90.
You know, Your Honor.
That's what you told me.
Your Honor, let me tell you something. They didn't just give me that money. I had to work to protect myself because of what he did to me, okay? Now, if you would just let me speak and prove what really happened, I wanted my house to be reused as much better than going into a condo in California City, okay? So, I mean, obviously I wanted to build. I have, through emails, been back and forth with him for 12 months, 10 months, okay? With his excuses. I had my attorney write him a letter. I have all of the proof right here. And
I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Ms. Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention. This is not the Scopes trial. You paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800.
And
His bond company gave you $4,800.
And later today,
Show me pictures of what you're dissatisfied with the rear of the car.
I didn't bring it with me.
Well, then you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Soraya Cassis says her former contractor, Tony Duarte, never finished the demolition of her home after it had burned down.
Now, you paid him $4,800.
And he didn't-
You
he
got
did-
$4,800.
No, because
From the bond company.
No, because now the demolition costs $8,000. I have the estimates.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention. Paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800.
And
His bond company gave you
Yes.
$4,800.
And for the whole year, I paid $3,000 of fence rental. I have had to pay taxes on it, which is another $1,500. Okay, and the new estimate to do a demo is $8,000. So that's where they came, and they did their investigation on everything I gave them, and I have the fence receipt.
How much money did you get from the insurance company?
$4,800
For your house?
But $4,800.
No,
but
that's his bond company. How much did you get from the insurance company for your house that burned down?
$120,000, but I had to pay a mortgage off with it. They didn't give me the check. They gave the check to my mortgage company.
Just how much were you left with that enabled you to buy
$70,000.
the house where you...
$70,000.
After they paid off the mortgage.
Yes.
And you used that as a down payment to buy another place to live.
No, I actually paid cash for the place that I live because
Okay, we're done here. Your Honor, you paid him $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800.
Your Honor,
we're done.
can I
Case
please...
is over. Period.
Your Honor.
We're done. I hope there are people. I hope there are people watching this case. We're done.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to add, sir?
I did once, and it was never a demo. That's the part that upset me the most. Is that with my bond company, they would not accept any of my documented... I took screenshots of my phone where we had text messaging back and forth. I have one right here where it says, I can clean the whole place and dispose of the trash for $4,500. That's all I was doing. Someplace along the line, I guess her insurance company wanted it demoed. I said, to demo it, you need to get an engineer out there. We got to do... I told her all this stuff. I sent her emails. She ignored most of it. See?
We're done.
Parties are excused.
I just wanted to get rid of this person. This has been a nightmare for me. She did send documents to the insurance company saying that I was her contractor. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm just glad it's over.
Parties in the matter of Reyes-Ruiz versus Linares. Step to the podium, please.
Jorge Reyes-Ruiz is suing body shop owner Jorge Linares for improperly fixing his car after an accident.
Mr. Ruiz, the defendant is a mechanic, and you were in an automobile accident, and you were hit from behind.
Correct.
So the accident was clearly the fault of the other driver.
Correct.
Who had insurance.
Yes.
And that happened in what month and year, Mr. Ruiz?
September 2019.
2019 or 18?
I'm still...
To your car when it was hit from behind by another car.
Oh, it was just rear-ended.
So you had rear damage to your car.
Correct.
When did you take the car to be fixed by the defendant?
October of 2018, yeah, approximately. Yeah, because the car got damaged in September, so the adjusters...
No. First of all, you were coming to court today. This is what I'm trying to put together from your complaint. Your car was rear-ended by a car that had insurance. You took it at some point to the defendant. Prior to taking it to the defendant, you had another accident where a car hit your car in another location.
Correct.
That car took off. So when you took your car to the defendant to be fixed, you specifically said to him, do not fix the other damage to the car because that wasn't caused by the person who hit me in the rear. That's what you say.
Correct.
Because you either weren't planning on fixing it or you didn't have the money to fix it.
Correct.
The defendant, according to you, dealt with the insurance company, and then you went to pick up your car. Was the rear of your car fixed?
Yes.
Is my question. And the rear of your car was fixed to your satisfaction of what you're dissatisfied with the rear of the car.
I didn't bring it with me. I have pictures
Well, then
of...
you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is the damage that you're showing me on the driver's side and the fixed that you showed me the passenger side?
Yes, made a mistake.
You
We're all
made a
human.
mistake. You know when you made a mistake?
Yes.
When you came here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jorge Reyes Ruiz claims body shop owner Jorge Linares improperly fixed his car after an accident.
So this is what your case is about, Mr. Ruiz. So you're not dissatisfied with the work that he did on the rear of your car. Because if you were dissatisfied with that work, you would have brought me a photograph, right?
Correct.
Right. What you state in your complaint was that the defendant also tried to fix or to make it look better where you had had the other accident, something that you didn't ask him to do and didn't want him to do because you weren't going to fix it. And so when you went to pick up your car, the work that the defendant was supposed to do on the rear was done to your side. Say you were dissatisfied with the work that he did on the side of your car, and it cost you $4,000 to fix that work.
That is correct.
So now I would like to see two things. I want you to show me a photograph of the car before he touched it, after he finished it. Then I want to see the paid bill from the company that fixed it for $4,000, and I want to see a picture of the car that you drove to court with today. Do you understand what I want to see?
So you want a picture?
Mr. Ruiz.
Yes, I understand.
I want a picture of, if you have it, what the car looked like before the defendant touched the side of your car.
It's right here.
That's what the car looked like before he touched. Oh, that's a side swipe.
Yeah, somebody.
So
yeah.
now I would like to see what it looked like when he finished it, that you said you were dissatisfied with. Is that the same side of the car?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by Judy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, could you put up the other picture first? Okay. Well, on one side, Mr. Ruiz, you're showing me the driver's side of the car.
That is correct, yes.
The other picture looks like the passenger side. Am I crazy?
No, you're right.
Is one side the driver's side and one side the passenger side?
Well, I when, you know, I was a little
Wait, just leave them both up there.
Oh.
Well, you look at them and then tell me, is the damage that you're showing me on the driver's side and the fixed that you're showing me the passenger side? That's either a yes or a no. Are they two different sides of the car?
Yes, they're two
Mr.
different sides of the car. I made a mistake.
What? You
We're all
made a
human.
mistake. You know when you made a mistake? Do you know when you made a mistake, Mr. Ruiz?
Yes.
When you came here. Yeah, when you came here. Goodbye, Mr. Ruiz. Unless you have another picture you want to show me.
No,
Unless you
I
want to
don't.
show me the same side of the car.
I do, but
Goodbye,
I would
Mr.
have to
Did you
go
think
to
that I
my
was
car
stupid?
and
Goodbye.
make a
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
She spread lies. I deny her feelings. I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Your dogs weren't killed, sir.
Judge Judy.
I'm happy.
Well, I did come a little unprepared.
I tell you 3 times, please send it up, bring it over, and I take care.
When you don't have the correct information, there's really no case.
Now I'm gonna keep record for anything.
It's a lesson learned.
A day at the vet
She backed right out of her own collar and she took off.
became a week of worry.
We spent, all 7 days out looking.
Fortunately, the dog came back.
She was a mess.
is the doctor in the doghouse.
She was yelling at me on the phone.
She actually told me it was all my fault that my dog had gotten out.
I said we are both at fault.
No, actually, that's not true.
This is Judge Judy. Tiffany Best is suing veterinarian Dr. Angelina Beeks for losing her Australian Shepherd, Callie.
Judge, this is case number 50 on the calendar in the matter of Best versus Beeks. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Thanks, Bert.
It's an Australian Shepherd
How long have you had her?
for about a year and a half now.
What kind of facility do the defendants own?
It's a veterinary mobile clinic.
And who is the vet?
I am, Your Honor.
Do you have an office in addition to having the mobile clinic?
No, I do not. I go to several different places in the high desert where they don't have veterinarians. My main purpose is to help spay and neuter dogs and cats so we're not killing so many in the shelters. So I go where there aren't vets.
Okay. Where did you go to school?
Ross University Veterinary Medicine in the Caribbean.
How long a program is that?
It takes about 4 years. You have 3 years on the island. And then
What do you mean
have
about?
Some
What is
students
about?
don't take a break and they'll get out in 3.5 years. So some of us do 4 years, some do 3.5. I did 4.
Where in the Caribbean?
So you do 3 years down on the island in St. Kitts, and then you do your last year here in the United States at one of the veterinarian schools. My last year was at LSU in Baton Rouge.
And in what year did you attend there?
2010, and I graduated in 2014.
So you started in the Caribbean in 2010.
Yeah, it was, I believe I started in May of 2010, and then I finished at LSU in June of 2014.
And in what state are you board certified, other than a mobile spay-neuter unit?
No, I have not. I worked at a practice for 3.5 years. I worked at Bear Valley Animal Hospital in Apple Valley for 3.5 years. I was one of the main surgeons for spay and neuter and other surgeries.
You had your dog for how long before you decided to have her spayed?
I had her for a year. What had happened was we were going to have her spayed previously, but we had a neighbor's dog jump the fence, and she ended up pregnant. So what we did is we waited until she was done. She had the puppies in June, and then I scheduled this for the 31st of August.
Just a minute. She had the puppies in June?
Yes, in June.
June what?
It was middle of June. I believe it was June 18th.
How many puppies did she have? All of this becomes relevant. All be tied together.
Oh,
how many puppies did she have?
She had 9.
What was the father of these 9 puppies? What kind of dog?
German Shepherd.
So they were big puppies?
Yeah. They weren't very big, but I've never delivered puppies before, so I don't really have anything to base it off of.
And all 9 puppies survived?
Yes.
And did you give them away, sell them? What did you do?
I gave them away, actually, to friends and family.
How old were they when you gave them away?
9 weeks.
Okay, and during the first 6, 7 weeks, during that period of time, your dog nursed the puppies, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so the puppies. You scheduled an appointment with the defendant to have her spayed because you didn't want to have that kind of accident again.
Yes, ma'am.
And you do understand that if you didn't intend to breed her, she should have been spayed well before she was a year old.
Oh, okay.
You do get that?
I do now. I haven't had to do it before.
Because she had already been through at least one heat period.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. She went to the defendant's. While she was in the defendant's care, she escaped, and she was gone, according to you, for 7 days.
Yes.
Fortunately, she made her way home, and she's back.
Yes.
And your lawsuit is for $5,000. You want both actual damages for the vet services and the punitive damages just for losing the dog. I don't understand. You'll have to explain that to me, other than the fact that you were probably very upset that the dog was missing, which I actually do understand. I don't know whether that's something that you can be compensated for, unless, of course, you went and sought psychiatric care as a result of this. So you have some sort of damage. I don't know how to gauge your sadness because the puppy was missing. In any event, what day did you bring the puppy to the defendant, or what day did the defendant pick the puppy up?
I dropped off my dog, Callie, on August 31st.
Defendant located?
About 10 miles from me, up in the Marianas almost. It's all dirt area, dirt fields, horse property out there.
When you dropped it off, did you drop it off to this mobile vet unit, or did you drop it off to a house?
It was her home, but the mobile vet unit is parked in front, inside the gate.
Did you see any other dogs there?
Yes, there was a whole line of vehicles. So what we had to do is line up and then let them know we were there, sign the paperwork, and then they would send somebody out to get our animal from us.
On what date were you notified that the dog was missing?
It was the same day, August 31st, and I got a phone call between 11:43 and 11:44 a.m. So 2 hours later. Yes.
Who did you speak to?
It was either Eric or Derek. It was hard to understand over the phone. He had called me.
Who's Derek Eric? Just one second. Who's Derek Eric?
It's Garrett. Garrett is my surgical technician.
Is he here today?
No, he is not. My son, who has been helping me since COVID, he was the one he's also helping out as a veterinary assistant. So he was the one who actually went to get the dog to bring it to the truck to be spayed. And that's who it got away from.
Okay, so you got the call.
Yes, I got the phone call, and he just told me he sounded very panicked, which rightfully so, I understood that. He was very panicked. He said, could you please come help look for your dog? And I said, wait a minute, how did that happen? Because, you know, I was baffled. And he said that, well, a slip leash wasn't used and the front gate was left open to the property. And he said that the front gate is never left open when there's other animals there.
Did he say who left it open?
No, he did not. He said that there's a newer employee working there and that he basically blamed him. And I didn't get a name until later on. So I loaded up my kids. My daughter was mid-school on the distance learning. I had to take her off of it, apologize to the teacher, load them in the truck, and rush over there. And so when I got there, Miss Beeks, sorry.
No, it's Dr. Beeks.
Dr. Beeks was outside. She didn't say anything to me. She didn't acknowledge me. She just stood there with her arms crossed and a dirty look on her face. And I followed Garrett. I apologize for messing his name up earlier. He told me to get back in the vehicle and follow him, and he'll take me to where Callie was last seen. And I did. I followed him in the vehicle. We saw no signs of her, but then we saw, I believe, Chris. I think that is her son's name. We saw him, and he was running out there looking for her. He had Callie's leash and collar in his hands, and he was running up the sides of the hills. Because, like I said, out there, it's all dirt. It's just fields, dirt, and sporadic homes.
On what date did Kelly return home? See how that happened.
To be honest, I'm not sure how it happened. I was very thankful for it, though. We were out looking. We spent, all 7 days out looking. It was over 100-degree temperature. There were a few rescues that had reached out and said, always try to take the same path home. And, we would do the little treats out the door that were her favorite with my kids, trying to find her. So we would always take the same path back, hoping that she would just catch a scent. We were told that dogs can smell for up to a mile. So we were just very hopeful. So... Okay. Yeah, she dug a hole in the backyard to get in. You were in the house when you saw her, or did she come to the door? She came to the door. I was cooking dinner. It was around 5 o'clock. We usually went out.
She smelled dinner.
Maybe. But, yeah, she dug a hole. We put some rocks in it to cover it so that we did keep 2 puppies so they don't get out. And she was panting. She was very skinny. She was very dirty. There was nothing bleeding or anything like that, but she had like burrs stuck in her. She was a mess and very thirsty, but she was a mess. She was a mess.
Do you have a picture of Kelly?
Before or when she came home?
Both.
Okay, I sure do.
I would also, just for my own curiosity, love to see pictures of the puppies that you kept.
Oh, man, I did not bring a picture. Oh, wait, yes, I do. I do have one picture of one of the puppies that we have. Okay, so that's my girl. She was just laying there, and I was just checking her. It's usually after we give her a bath, and they're indoor-outdoor dogs. My dogs do not stay outside all day long. Of course, if we're gone, they go outside because
So this is this is a couple of weeks ago.
Yes. And
the other picture that you have?
The other picture that I have, that's the only picture I took. I was too excited when she got home and wanted to check her out, but that's when she got home. That's the back slider. She was scratching on the slider. I opened the door, and Remy was right there. That's one of her puppies, Remy. But she was just dirty. Her fur is very soft, and it just lays down flat. Her fur was stuck up in all areas just from the gunk, but it was over 100 degrees for that entire week.
Okay, I'm sure you were happy to see her, and that puppy's as cute as a bug's ear. That puppy is adorable.
Thank you.
You took Kelly to the vet. Do you have the vet bill?
I do have a vet bill.
May I see it, please?
Yes. And I did get the county voucher for $50, but because I used that, I won't be able to use it again because there's a limit on how many county vouchers you're allowed to use.
Did you have her spayed?
Yes, I have her rabies certificate and her spay certificate right here.
So the vet bill for that visit was $204, but you used a voucher, so it was really $210. Other than the vet bill, did you have any other actual expenses?
Yes, I do. I had to make flyers. She did say she would make some, but the one that she made, she did send it to me. You can't tell that it's even my dog in the picture. It was just a very standard black and white, poorly done one.
So you made your own flyers?
Yes, I made flyers, and then I had to get the staple gun.
Stop. How much were the flyers?
$34 for the flyers and $39.99 for the staple gun.
What other actual expenses did you have?
Other actual expenses were that I had myself and 15 other people out searching their gas. That we used a lot of gas out for 7 days looking, and I would like to pay them back because, you know, they helped out of the graciousness of their hearts, but that is something that I believe they deserve back.
What else? So far, your actual expenses were $328. What else?
That was it for actual, because the gas I totaled.
Okay. Forget gas for your friends. Okay, now you want to tell me how this happened? Is your son was there? Is that right?
Yes. So I was actually in doing surgery, and I heard.
I got it. Would you have your son step up, please?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She was very nasty on Billy at all. She just sent me a letter demanding $10,000.
So, Miss Best, where did you come up with the figure of $10,000?
Tiffany Best says her Australian Shepherd, Callie, escaped while in the care of veterinarian Dr. Angelina Beeks. She is suing for both actual and punitive damages.
Tell me your name.
My name is Christopher Beeks.
Mr. Beeks, want to tell me how the dog managed to get away?
I was just leading the dog from the cage to the RV, and as I opened the RV door, she got a little spooked, and she backed right out of her own collar, and since the gate was open, she saw, and she took off.
Well, who had left the gate open?
Whoever was checking in clients at the time, if they were still checking any cars that were at the gate.
The plaintiff says that you said to her that this was a new person.
I am the new person.
You're the new person?
Yes.
So the person who was checking people in their cars was whom?
Probably one of the receptionists who take the phone calls and sign in the guests. I was just moving the dog from one place to the other.
And none of those people are new?
No.
Prior to doing what you're doing now, helping your mom, what were you...
COVID, everything shut down, and haven't been able to really get another bartending job because they pretty much filled those spots as fast as they could.
Got it. And what do you do for your mother?
I just assist with any extra work that she needs at the clinic, whether it's keep an eye on dogs that have just come out of surgery, make sure they're still breathing, moving dogs from one place to another. That's basically the main things that I do as a volunteer.
So you understand, both you and your mom understand, that you are responsible for the actual financial damages that the plaintiff suffered as a result of your negligence. You understand that?
Understood.
Good. And Dr. Beeks, you do understand that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I would have
And so
spayed
far-
the dog for her, you know, had she had brought it back and had been nice to us, but she was very nasty on the phone. She wouldn't talk to us really at all. She just sent me a letter demanding $10,000. That's the only conversations we were having. I had people out looking.
Do you have that letter?
Absolutely.
I'd like to see it.
And this was dated, I believe, the 3rd of September.
Okay. So, Miss Best, where did you come up with the figure of $10,000?
Judge Judy continues.
And then I said, hold on. I said, the collar was not on your dog properly. And she goes, oh, you're blaming this all on me. I said, no, I am not. I said, we are both at fault.
No, actually, that's not true, Dr. Beeks.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tiffany Best says veterinarian Dr. Angelina Beeks owes for temporarily losing her Australian Shepherd, Callie.
Where did you come up with the figure of $10,000?
Well, it's a stipulation to do something in writing for small claims court, so that is why I wrote the letter. I did that because I didn't know how much to put on it. I've never done small claims before. And as far as me being rude to them, that is not the case. She actually told me it was all my fault that my dog had gotten out, and then made mention later that that was her son. And I was never once mean to them. I was never mean to Mr. Beeks, not once. When I saw him in person, my kids were crying in the background.
I can imagine that you were upset.
I was, but I never once was mean. I even told him that I understand the accidents happen. And as far as not getting a hold of her, I texted her all day one day, and she never responded until the next day. So honestly, yes, I had to escalate it because she was the one not responding to me.
Your Honor, that's not true. I talked to her that very same day. It was probably over surgery, and I talked to her then, and she was yelling at me on the phone. And then I said, hold on. I said, the collar was not on your dog properly. She slipped out of her own collar, so you didn't check her collar. And she goes, oh, you're blaming this all on me. I said, no, I am not. I said, we are both at fault. One, my son didn't put a slip lead.
No, actually, that's not true, Dr. Beeks. That's not true that you're both at fault. Your facility is at fault for losing the dog. Fortunately, the dog came back.
Yes.
I mean, if your son is new, then that's not plaintiff's fault. If your son, who has training as a bartender, is now a veterinary assistant, as you describe him, that's on you. The problem is the amount that you're requesting, even $5,000, doesn't weigh with what happened.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I mean, let us assume that your dog didn't come home. Mm-hmm. Fortunately, Kelly came home.
Yes.
But if she had not come home and was lost permanently, either to someone else or to predators, you could have sued the defender. That would have been the level of her responsibility.
Okay.
What you want now is, now that you got the dog back, you are certainly entitled to even the money that you spent on a staple gun, which you still have, which you may or may not use in the future. But those are your actual damages. And certainly this was not, there are things that are accidental and there are things that are on purpose. Mm-hmm. This was an accident. We clearly would say that this was not a result of anything purposeful on the part of either one of the defendants. It was an accident. And unless you can tell me that you had additional expenses that you can verify, like visiting a therapist to get you through this difficult period, your damages are $328. And I'm prepared to compensate you for that.
Okay. The only thing I was including in that, though, is my daughter missed 5 days of school. She couldn't go to school for those 5 days online. So she was having a hard time eating. She was having a hard time sleeping. She'd wake up from nightmares. I mean, that's...
Okay. $328. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're done.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm not about to wreck anybody's marriage.
Her boyfriend failed to mention his wife.
He's the piece of garbage who broke your vows.
Judge Judy.
Heard the commotion. My son took off after the dog.
It was terrorizing. It was terror for me.
The other tech came in because he went out to help my son once he opened the door to bring the dog in.
The thing is she didn't. We were out every single day for 7 days. We never saw them out searching except for the very first day.
My son was chasing the dog. Garrett went with them. They kind of had her cornered down by the next property.
And I have it in text message proof that they only searched for 4 hours on the first day.
The area is, we're out in the desert, so everything is very big and wide. And
I just said that there was an accident that had happened at the vet. I said
she was able to get by both of them and took off.
As far as we know, Callie's still around here. We will find her. She's a smart girl.
No, she just had a collar and a leash, and her collar was on loosely, so she was able to...
She maybe even come home.
Pull her head out of the collar. And that's how she got away.
Oh, my gosh. We heard her scratching, opened the back door.
Oh, very happy Callie came home.
I couldn't even say anything. I literally just started crying.
You paid Mr. Cruz $3,200.
Sideways.
What happened after you made the last payment?
told me the car was gone, and then hung up the phone.
I sold the car to someone else.
Now the judge takes him head on.
What is wrong with you?
With me?
I'm looking at you.
Nothing, ma'am.
No, there's something wrong with you. What did you do with the money?
This is Judge Judy. 19-year-old Chloe Raymond Smith is suing Alfonso Cruz for the return of money she paid towards a car he sold to someone else.
Judge, this is case number 82 on the calendar in the matter of Raymond Smith versus Cruz. Parties have been sworn in.
Ms. Smith, it is your claim that the defendant scammed you out of $3,200 that you paid him for a car that he was selling.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Let's start with how you located this car.
I located this car through Facebook Marketplace. If you've ever used Facebook Marketplace before, it's just you could buy and sell anything through there.
Ms. Smith, you found the car through Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
Do you have the copy of the ad?
I have it in my phone. I would have to go back, but it got deleted pretty shortly after. So the ad itself after.
Well, why would it get deleted?
After we signed the agreement, the ads got taken down.
This all just the ad that you put on, sir?
With me? No, I do not.
What do you mean with you? Where is it?
I've never took a picture of it, never took a photo of it. I just took it off the marketplace as agreed on the agreement, and that was it.
Okay. So you found this on Facebook Marketplace a month or so ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. You decided you wanted to buy it. And how did you contact Mr. Cruz?
I messaged him through Facebook.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I have all the...
Just a second. I'd like to see your first contact with him on Facebook.
On Facebook, I would have to go through my phone, but we pretty much used our phone numbers to contact each other through the whole time and make all of our agreements and everything.
Get it.
We got it.
Get me.
We got it. Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Oh, it's actually right here. And it's going to be the first one right here on the top, and it has the date and everything.
Just a second. Okay. What's the date on that? That's August. Okay. Did you ultimately make an agreement
Yes,
with
ma'am,
the
we
defendant?
did.
I'd like to see that agreement.
All right. Here we are. Other signature is just on a separate...
Shh. Just a second. Who wrote this up?
My friend who's a realtor wrote this up for me.
What's the friend's name?
His name is Nick.
Nick what? Nick what?
Oh, my God, I'm blanking on his last name.
Think hard.
I lived with him, and I'm blanking on his name.
Okay, well, we'll just wait until you stop blanking.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, why am I blanking on his last name right now? I honestly cannot remember his last name, and I know that's terrible. He's gonna... Oh, my God. He's gonna be so mad at me. It is in my phone.
We're just going to wait. Why don't you have a seat and look at your phone, figure out the name of this man?
I apologize.
That's okay.
I lived with him, too, and I just didn't even... Oh, my God, this is bad that I don't know his name. I'm going through our messages because I just have his contact name as Nick, too. Oh, my God. Oh, no. I'm not entirely sure I know his last name.
Well, why don't you tell me Nick's phone number?
His phone number is 1707.
Does Nicholas Coe or Poe sound familiar to you?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Got it. Well,
he's in Mexico right now, too.
Now, it is your claim that between September and October, you paid Mr. Cruz $3,200, which was the entire amount that you had agreed on to purchase the car. You made payments. I'd like you to show me proof of each one of those payments.
They were made out through Venmo and Zelle, so I have all of them from both of those. And then here is some of them. And then I could just keep on putting up the papers. Just tell me when you're ready.
No, I just want to see Alfonso Cruz Keep going.
I think this one actually has all the payments on it made. Yeah, and these are the confirmation codes.
And the last payment was when?
October 3rd.
And what happened after you made the last payment, Miss Smith?
I went down to because I work full-time and I live 6 hours away, so I made an appointment with my tow company that I had to pick up paperwork and just anything else that the car would have because I know it wasn't running. And then I got down there and I told Alfonso I was going to come over and check out the car, and then he called me and told me the car was gone. And just literally, that's it. Like, told me the car was gone and then hung up the phone.
Had you ever met him before?
No, which I know was not smart on my end.
Is this the first time that you're meeting him?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
What is wrong with you?
With me?
What is wrong with you? With you. I'm looking at you. What is wrong with you?
Nothing, ma'am.
No, there's something wrong with you. What did you do with her money?
Well, I still have it.
What did you do with her money?
I still have it?
You have it?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why didn't you give it back to her when you sold the car to somebody else?
I told her that she can come and pick up the money, but that was it. And I sold the car to someone else.
Well, do you have the money with you?
Oh, no, ma'am, no.
Where is it?
Next to my nightstand, actually.
Where is it?
Home next to my nightstand. In the envelope.
Really? Who else lives in your home?
My brother, my father. That's about it right now.
Who did you sell the car to?
Close friend.
Really? You getting an appearance fee for appearing on this program today?
Yes, ma'am. I believe so.
Oh, it's not an...
I was told, yes,
How
ma'am.
much?
500?
Well, this is what I'm telling you, Mr. Cruz. We're going to hold your appearance fee until you get the envelope and give it to her. If you don't get the envelope and give it to her, do you understand, Mr. Cruz? Then I'm going to enter a judgment in her favor in the amount of $3,200. You don't get to keep both. We understand each other, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we understand each other, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
This case is over. Goodbye.
Really?
Goodbye. That's it. That's what I'm telling you. Did you understand my ruling clearly?
Oh, yes, I did, ma'am. I just thought there was more to it.
Perfect. Perfect. There's no more to
Agreed.
it. Goodbye.
Bye. Have a great day.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I mean, I knew that I was doing a risky thing to start with.
She wanted me to send it through an online payment.
Definitely knew that, but, you know, it was one of those things where it was, like, too good.
I don't do that. I just have cash. I'd rather just give it to her up front.
That I just, like, saw that car was looking for so long, and I, like, had to have it.
When she didn't want to come pick it up, she decided just to take me to court.
Cash is king. Meet them in person.
Yeah, just come with cash up front. Cash is king.
All parties in the matter of Riccio versus Joseph. Step to the podium, please.
Paulo Riccio is suing fellow motorist Jerome.
Mr. Riccio, this is a car accident.
Yes.
Not an on-purpose, an accident. And you were the first car in a three-car collision. The defendant was the last car.
Yes.
So you are suing him for the cost of the repair to your car.
Yes.
August 28th at what time, sir?
It was around 4:00 p.m.
Where?
So it was off of the 91.
Highway, freeway?
Yes, 91 freeway.
What were the weather conditions?
It was clear and sunny.
And what kind of car were you driving, sir?
So I was driving a 2016 white Subaru Forester.
What insurance carrier did you have?
State Farm.
And what kind of car were you driving, Mr. Joseph?
I was driving a Prius at the time.
What year?
I believe that was a 2007 gray Prius.
Did the car belong to you?
Yes.
Registered in your name?
No, not at the time.
Who did the car belong to, Mr. Joseph?
My grandmother, but I was mostly driving the car, and the car was insured to me.
That's not what I asked you, sir. I'm going to get there. The car belonged to your grandmother.
Yes.
Does it still belong to your grandmother?
No.
Who does it belong to?
The car got in another car accident with my grandmother, and the car is gone now.
The car got into another accident with who driving the car?
My grandmother. And about 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks to a month ago.
When you had this accident, Mr. Joseph,
Yes.
the police who were at the accident, that's what I gather from the papers, at some point they showed up at the accident. Did you show them proof of insurance?
No, they never.
It's not an answer.
No, Your Honor.
It's not an answer.
No, Your Honor. They never asked me for to show me proof of my insurance at the time.
Can I see a police report?
I have, Your Honor.
Who has a police report?
I do have the police report here.
Would you put it up there?
Sure.
Let me understand this, Mr. Joseph. We're starting with you, sir. The plaintiff... Mr. Joseph, pay attention.
Yes, I am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So you're telling me they asked these two people for their insurance, but they didn't ask you for proof of insurance?
They did not.
Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you.
I just want to know if that's what you're selling me. I just want to know if that's what you're selling me.
Paulo Riccio claims fellow motorist Jerome Joseph is at fault for a rear-end pileup on the freeway.
Now, you were the third from the complaint and your answer that the plaintiff was the first car, traffic was stopped. Your answer says you looked away for 2 seconds. When you looked back, you saw that traffic was stopped. You tried to stop and you couldn't, and you hit the car that was directly behind the plaintiff's, pushing that car into his. Is that what I'm reading from the complaint and answer, Mr. Joseph?
That's what you're reading, but that's not the truth, Your Honor.
Well, that's what you said. Let's see what you say in your answer. The Infinity driver, that's the one in front of you, wasn't prepared when the plaintiff braked and ended up slamming into the back of the plaintiff's car. My insurance company, Progressive. Do you have any papers from Progressive, by the way?
Not at the moment, miss.
May I see the police report?
Are you asking it for me?
No.
Oh.
He's got it up there.
Okay.
I'd like to see it. Well, let's just start with this, Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
This first page of the police report lists the 3 drivers of the 3 cars. The driver of car number 1 had insurance with AAA. The plaintiff's car had insurance, according to the police officer, with State Farm. And on the police report, none, but not cited. So you're telling me they asked these 2 people for their insurance, but they didn't ask you for proof of insurance?
They did not.
Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you, Your
I
Honor.
just want to know if that's what you're selling me. I just want to know if that's what you're selling me. That they asked the person who got hit first, the second car that was hit by you, they asked them for insurance, but didn't ask you for proof of insurance. I just want to know what you're selling me, Mr. Joseph. That's what you're selling me, right?
What I'm telling
That's
you
right.
is yes, that did happen. And, you know, if they did ask me for my insurance and I did tell them no, don't you think I would have got cited for that as well?
No, not if they were being nice to you. Not if they were being nice to you. They wrote in proof of insurance, none, not cited. So what I'm telling you was the police were being nice to you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Driver 1, that was you, was driving at a speed too great for existing traffic conditions. As a result, P1 could not stop his car, P1 is you, before subsequently colliding rear. Do you think the police made that up?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Paulo Reese is at fault for a rear-end pileup on the freeway.
Now, let's see the rest of the police report, please.
So the next page will be the statements.
It was in the complaint. P1, that's you, Joseph, stated to the police he looked down for 2 seconds. Did they take your phone, Mr. Joseph?
No.
Did they take your phone? My question is a simple one.
No, they did not take my phone.
Did you tell the police you looked down for 2 seconds? And I tried to brake, but I couldn't. Do you think the police made that up?
No, they didn't. That isn't true. What I had said though at the time.
Well, if it's not true, Mr. Joseph, then the police officer made that up. If it's not true, the police officer says he interviewed all 3 people. He said that when he interviewed you at the scene off the highway, determined that it was not a hit and run. He said P1, Joseph, related he looked down for 2 seconds, and when he looked back up, he saw traffic was stopped. He tried to stop, but he couldn't.
Well, yes. I looked down for a second because at the time I was driving service, delivery food, and that's what I was doing at the time. I was working. And I look at my map.
Down for what?
To look at my map to look at my map to see where I'm heading to next. Anyways, you know, I seen Mr. Paulo's car in front. Next thing you know, the Infiniti merged in front, went over the two yellow lines, merged in front of me, and that's when I looked up and it's this car just stopped there. And that's when I had to slam on my brakes and at the last minute, and causing it to make a domino effect, causing the Infiniti to hit Paulo's car, or Mr. Paulo.
Let's see the next page, please. Let's see the next page, please. Joseph was driving vehicle 1, a Toyota,
Yes, a Toyota Prius.
at approximately 35 miles an hour directly behind vehicle 2, which was an Infiniti. Vehicle 2, Martin, was stopped directly behind vehicle 3, which was the plaintiff's Subaru. Driver 1, that was you, was driving at a speed too great for existing traffic conditions. As a result, P1 could not stop his car, P1 is you, before subsequently waited. Chip, okay. Is there any other material there? Is that the
Yes.
last page?
No, this is the last page.
Okay. Oh, there is a cause page.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, according to the police that responded to this scene, Mr. Joseph was the cause of the traffic collision. That would be you. And they indicate why. And they cite the traffic code, and they say that you have to travel at a speed that's prudent, giving regard to weather and visibility and traffic, and you can't be looking at a map, looking where you're going to go to make your next food delivery. How much did it cost you to fix your car?
Well, that's the thing, Your Honor. So I had two estimates. The first estimate was for $678, which I actually sent them via text. But that was, I just kind of wanted to, I had this feeling where I knew it might be pulling teeth to get
Can
money
I see
out
the
of it.
quotes for the? Can I see the quotes for the car?
I have a text message from
That's
the
all.
shop.
I want to see the damage. Do you have the picture of the damage?
Here's a picture of the damages of my vehicle.
Okay, great.
And here's another. I don't know.
Okay, good. Right? Okay, and do you have a bill to fix it?
And here's the bill to fix it. Now, this is just an estimate. Obviously, they have to take apart the whole bumper and check to see if there's any other structural damage to the car.
Listen, I can't. That's not where I go. Shoulda, woulda, coulda is not where I go. If you want to have the car fixed and then come back to court and say I had it fixed, this is what it is. If this is the estimate that you have, which is $1,200, then that's what you're going with. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's up to you. I mean, if they go underneath and find that the whole wheel is out of alignment and the car has to be totaled, I can't help you. Once we resolve this case, we're going to resolve it because the accident was his fault. He wasn't looking where he was going. He couldn't stop in time. He's got to pay for the damage to your car because I assume you only had liability on your car and not collision. Am I correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,200. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're done.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
I assume you would say, Mom, that's the wrong rent.
English is not her first language.
She's a very smart lady. Money is her secondary language.
Judge Judy.
You can see on the report, you know,
he flagged us down. There's no way.
The people that were just hit and shoot, they didn't want to follow.
I didn't see him in any hand gestures or anything like that.
And that's when I contacted authorities and they came by.
So my initial thought process was, yeah, he did try to do a hit and run.
And concluded, you know, that it wasn't a hit and run.
Always drive with insurance.
Accidents happen.
An ex-husband's breakdown.
His car needed to be repaired.
It was going to cost an arm and a leg.
An ex-wife's rescue.
I gave him the money, and he got it fixed.
Sounds like a very friendly divorce.
Well, we were friendly then.
Now, does she want her money?
Everything started going downhill once she found out I had a girlfriend.
Or revenge?
I think you're pulling my leg, Miss Fernandez. I think that this is a judicial leg pulling.
This is Judge Judy. Clarice Fernandez is suing her ex-husband, Manuel Fernandez, for unpaid loans and his portion of their children's school supplies and Christmas gifts.
Your Honor, this is case number 28 on the calendar in the matter of Fernandez versus Fernandez. Both parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Ms. Fernandez, you and Mr. one child together. Mr. Fernandez had another child, and after your separation, you kept custody of both children.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yes.
And you were divorced in February of 2019.
Correct.
Your claim has several parts to it. I'm advising you I'm only entertaining one of those claims. You have a claim for participation in Christmas presents, in school supplies, and in clothes for the children after the divorce. Now, you have a judgment of divorce that provides for support for the child that is his?
Yes.
Is he currently paying that order of support?
Yes.
Is the amount that he is paying an amount that was agreed to by the two of you by stipulation or agreement in the divorce?
We agreed when we divorced.
Good. Then the part of your claim that I will hear, Ms. Fernandez, is your claim of a loan. And that, you said, was a loan that took place in October after the divorce that you made to him. You want to tell me about that loan?
His car needed to be repaired, so he wanted to borrow money for that, and I let him borrow money for that.
Well, this was a car that he had when you
correct.
Divorced?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that correct, Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Chevy Trailblazer SUV.
Was that purchased during the marriage?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, it's a loan.
Well, when we went to Vegas and the whole...
Just a second. You went to Vegas. What date?
It was in September 2019.
September 20th. You went to Vegas. Did the children go with you?
The children went.
So the four of you went to Vegas?
Yes.
Where did you stay?
In the Tahitian Resort and Village in Vegas.
And you used the Chevy because it was a larger car to travel in?
Yes.
Is that why you used the older car?
Yes.
Had you been on long trips with that car before?
Yes.
When immediately prior to this trip in September did you use that car? Over the summer?
Yes. Every year we take the kids to Knoxbury Farm, so we took them maybe in June or July to Knoxbury Farm.
Sounds like a very friendly divorce.
Well, we were friendly then.
It sounds like a very friendly divorce.
Okay, you can say it's that.
Okay, so now the car has problems shortly after the trip that the family took to Vegas?
Well,
Tell me about this alleged
It actually
loan.
broke down when we were there.
And
we took it to a place, and I forgot what it needed to be fixed, but whatever it was going to be a lot, like the alternator, or I don't know, he probably knows what it's called. But it was going to take like 10 days, and we couldn't stay that long, so the guy told us just leave early, like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and drive slow, and it should be fine till we made it back to San Diego, so that's what we did. And then we came back.
I want to hear about it. You came back with the children.
He just asked me if I had money or I could put on my credit card for him. I told him that I can...
Well, who paid for the hotel when you were away in Vegas?
I think
Who
I
paid for
put
the
it on my
hotel?
card, but he agreed to pay me money for that as well.
Well, did he?
No.
Well, Miss Fernandez, I think you're pulling my leg, Miss Fernandez. I think that this is a judicial leg pulling. So you don't think he paid you back from putting the hotel on your credit card. But you're not suing him for that. You're suing him for Christmas presents.
Well, I'm suing him
School
for...
supplies in September and money that you put on your credit card to have a car fixed that you and the family all use. Where do you live, Mr. Fernandez?
In El Cajon, California.
And who do you live with?
My girlfriend.
And when did you start to have this girlfriend?
2013.
What month? Just a sec. Don't speak.
I'm not good with dates, but I'm pretty much sure what she just said, 2013. That's when everything started going downhill once she found out I had a girlfriend.
Well, when do you think she found out you had a girlfriend?
Actually, she found out this year, maybe about like 5 months ago.
2020?
2020, yes.
How did she find out?
From my young daughter.
Now, when you went away together to Vegas or to Knott's Berry Farms, she didn't have that information with your girlfriend?
For about almost a year, I kept it a secret.
I don't think it was a year. I think he was out of the house August 1st, 2018, and then I never knew where he lived after that. So it's 2 years in August.
Well, when you went away with him on these family vacations, didn't you ask him where he was living?
He told me he was living with his brother.
And you believed him?
I believed him.
Yeah. So now let's get back to this loan to have the car fixed. I'm waiting. You have to tell me about a contract.
We didn't have a contract. He signed a little, like a little receipt that I gave him because I wanted to make sure he was going to pay me the money back.
I'd like to see that.
That's the bottom.
I don't know what that is.
It's a receipt, and it just says that I gave him a loan.
I see that it's a receipt. Tell me about signing this receipt. Did you sign a receipt from her?
To be honest, Judge, I don't remember signing a receipt.
What I'd like you to do is, Officer Bird's going to give you a piece of paper. I'd like you to sign your name.
Okay.
He didn't sign it, he initialed it. Sometimes
Hey, don't speak. Sign your name, sir.
Would you like me to sign it or initial it?
Yeah, I would like you to do both. Would you put it up there? Thank you. Again. Yeah, he never signed that. He never signed that. That's not anything that he signed. You want to tell me, sir, your version of this money for the repair of your car?
I do recall the repair. It was a long trip that weekend. We went to Knott's Berry Farm, and then we also took the kids to Las Vegas. Going up there, I felt the transmission skipping gears, so I told my ex-wife, is there something wrong with the SUV? Once we get to Las Vegas, we was going to get it checked out. Once I determined that it was a transmission and it was going to cost an arm and a leg, and we just didn't have the money at the time, we did drive it back to San Diego. When we did get back to San Diego, I did ask Miss Clarice if she can help me pay for the SUV. She did agree on it, and I just assumed that I already paid my portion for that transmission. And
how did you do that?
I actually took it out my credit card.
Well, show me.
I don't have no receipt.
And I need a bill for the transmission.
The receipt that she just showed you, that's from the transmission place.
No, it isn't. What's the name of the place that did the transmission work?
Dean.
What's the name of the place that... Just a second. Ms. Fernandez, what's the name of the place that did the transmission work?
I didn't take the car. I didn't get the receipt for it. I gave him the money, and he did it. So I don't know where the place was. All I know is I gave him the money, and he got it fixed.
The transmission place is Jesus Transmission, and it was in Spring Valley, California. And it took over almost like 4 weeks. I just don't have the I did not bring the receipt with me, ma'am.
Well, we can get that. Jesus Transmission? Is that the name of the place?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken your car there before?
No, ma'am. A mechanic at my job recommended that place for me.
Was it a big place or a small place?
It's a small place, ma'am.
Jesus Transmissions?
Yes, ma'am. That's the sign that was on the gate.
And where are they located? In what city?
It was in Spring Valley, California.
Okay. Now, Ms. Fernandez, where did you get the $1,500 from?
From my bank.
Do you have a bank statement?
No. I didn't print my bank statement.
Well, why don't we get one? Just to show me where you withdrew $1,500. That would be a good idea to have, right?
Right.
Because that happened in October of 2019, right?
Right.
Great. And what bank was that you took the money out of?
It's either Navy Federal or San Diego County Credit Union.
Oh, that's easy enough to get. Why don't we recall this case and you get that for me?
Okay.
Okay? All I need is the page from either bank which indicates that in October of 2019, you withdrew at one time $1,500. And I will assume that once you have that, that is what you gave to Ms. We'll recall. Thank you. Bye.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Did I miss something? Did I see either one of those two dogs attacking a goat on that video?
That's my gate, and they are walking back.
I see them, but I didn't see them attacking anything.
But I have evidence of that.
Well, show me.
In a case recalled from earlier today, Clarice Fernandez claims ex-husband Manuel Fernandez owes for loans to have his vehicle repaired.
Judge, this is recall of case number 28 in the matter of Fernandez versus Fernandez. Parties are reminded you're still under oath.
Thank you, Bert. Ms. Fernandez, you were going to produce for me a statement that in October you made a withdrawal for $1,500.
I couldn't find it. I think it was from my Capital One. I don't use the card anymore. The card's been closed, so I wasn't able to get that information.
Well, then I can't help you.
Okay.
Because I'm having some veracity issues.
Okay.
So
well, it seems like you didn't want to help me anyways.
No, I do want to help you if you
No, you don't want to. You don't want to hear the other things that we agreed upon. So that's what I was bringing him to court for, not just a loan.
No, I don't. He has an obligation pursuant to that judgment of divorce with regard to payments to you that, according to you, he was living up to. and he is paying child support. So courts don't do that. They don't get involved in, I will pay for half the pencils and half the writing paper and half the books and a Christmas present if you buy. We don't do that. We'd be in business 24/7. Now, if there was a legitimate loan between you and your ex-husband with whom you clearly vacationed with your children after your divorce, I don't know what else. But clearly, at least according to you, on 2 occasions subsequent to the divorce, went away on extended vacations where you all stayed together. So it sort of tests veracity that there was a loan of $1,500 that you can produce nothing but a receipt that clearly he did not sign.
He did sign it.
No, I say he didn't sign it.
Okay, you can say whatever you want. That means it's true.
Okay. All I asked you for was to get a statement that you withdrew $1,500, and then I can determine if I believe it was a loan or 2 people who were still involved after a 20-year relationship, and you were away on a holiday with your children and the car broke down. So if you cannot produce that without prejudice, you can go back to small claims court once you produce that document.
And they'll take care of it, and I'll get what I'm supposed to get.
And I'm sure that somebody else will when they have the proper proof of the $1,500, so you can have this tape. We'll entertain the rest of your case. We're finished. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I agreed to the lower child support because he was going to help me with our son.
I haven't missed a payment since she took me to court.
Which he has not done.
Everything is on time. Child support, spousal support, so.
And then we agreed that he was going to pay for his daughter's expenses because his daughter lives with me.
She could say what she wants to say, but the payment is there.
She lives with me and I don't get money from him for her.
Ever since she found out about the girlfriend.
Once I realized he had a girlfriend, that's when
things kind of like went downhill between us.
He doesn't want to pay me what he needs to pay me.
Just want to be good parents to the kids and see my kids when I can.
I'll see him back in court.
All parties in the matter of Carrasco Tapia versus Cruz. Step to the podium, please.
Stephanie Carrasco Tapia is suing her neighbor, Eva Cruz, for vet bills and the cost of 2 goats she claims were attacked and killed by Eva's dogs.
Ms. Tapia, do you live in a rural area?
Yes.
Do you live in a home?
Yes.
And in the backyard you keep goats?
Yes.
Is it a fenced backyard?
Yes. Males, 2 females, and 1 baby.
Is it the 2 females that were injured?
Yeah.
And it is your claim that dogs owned by the defendant injured those 2 goats. Ultimately, they died as a result of the wounds that they had.
Yes.
Ms. Cruz says that the dogs were not hers.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
But she's not responsible for her dogs.
No, she's responsible for her dogs. Your job is to prove to me that your goats were injured by a dog, as opposed to being injured by a coyote or by something else that could walk into your fence.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Stephanie Carrasco Tapia is suing her neighbor, Eva Cruz, for vet bills and the cost of 2 goats she claims were attacked and killed by Eva's dogs.
Now, how long have the 2 of you been neighbors?
2 years.
Does she live right next door to you?
Not next, but she lives in the corner of my street.
When were your goats injured?
In June 8th of 2020.
Now I'd like to see the proof that you have. First, that they were injured by dogs, and then we'll get to the fact that they were injured by her dogs. So I'd like to see what proof you have.
I had a video, it's over there.
Okay. Is that the video?
Yes, that's correct. You can see the both dogs, It's a shepherd and people.
So this is a gate that you can walk right through. Did I miss something? Did I see either one of those 2 dogs attacking a goat on that video?
No, the video don't show that.
Did I miss something?
But they... No, don't show that, but that's my gate.
No, show them sitting down.
That's my gate, and they are walking back, like outside. They get into my property, and then you can see, like, walking out of my property.
I see them, but I didn't see them attacking anything.
But I have evidence of that.
Well, show me. Show me. I didn't see. There's no evidence that they attacked. Just a second.
I had a picture.
Ms. Tapia, there's no evidence on that video that the 2 dogs whether they were hers or not, attacked anything on your property, and you don't have a fence all around your property. They didn't knock down a fence. They walked through the fence.
Okay, so...
And then I saw one of them sit down, and one of them was sort of coming out. But at no time were these dogs proof that you have that the dogs behaved in any way aggressively towards your goats.
Okay, so you can see the time and the date when the dogs get into my property, and that happened in June 8. And I took my goats to a hospital in June 8, the same day
On June
like the
8th?
video. Yes.
Okay, but so far I didn't see dogs attacking your goats. I didn't see these two dogs attacking your goats. So I don't care what the hospital said so far. I need proof how your goats were injured.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, I need proof that your goats were injured by the defendant's dogs. She says they weren't even her dogs, but I need proof that they were injured by any dogs, as opposed to being injured by a coyote or by a jackal or by something else that could walk into your fence. These dogs did not appear aggressive when they walked into your backyard. So I'm asking you, what proof do you have that by a dog?
I don't have the video when they was attacked from her dogs because I don't have cameras.
Well, I don't know that they were,
like
Miss Tapia, I don't know. And if you have no proof that I can rely on that your goats were attacked by her dogs, this video doesn't show that. This video shows actually rather two docile dogs, whether they were hers or whether they weren't hers, whether she just fed them or not. But you didn't see it. And she, I assume, was sleeping also at 3 o'clock.
But
and
she's
the dogs
not-
didn't appear to do any damage.
But she's not responsible for her dogs, and also
No, she's responsible for her dogs. Your job is to prove to me that your goats were injured by a dog. I didn't see any evidence in this, and you acknowledge that there's no evidence here to show me any aggressive behavior by those dogs. I don't doubt that your goats were injured. What I'm saying to you is that you have no proof that the defendant is responsible for it, because no proof that they were injured by a dog as opposed to something else. Anything could get into your yard because it really wasn't a totally fenced yard. It was open. Is that the extent of your evidence that your goats were injured by dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Then your case is dismissed.
Concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
My neighbor told me that he saw the dogs frequently.
I mean, there was no proof that the dogs actually attacked her animals.
Walking in the front of my house.
I did see them, but it wasn't her house. It was the neighbor's house.
And his house. And actually, one day...
The pets were not mine. They were rescued. They came to my house. I fed them and gave them water.
Her dogs trying to attack him.
I like animals. So...
yeah, I bring them to the hospital.
I said, bring me a bill and let me know if you need some help. I have friends that